Yo guys, AFC Adino here, back finally with another video. It has been a while, it has almost been more than a week, but I'm back and let's start it off with the third round of Ravens tournament. I decided not to upload the first two rounds because it was basically me 6-0ing two new players, and I really don't think that's very interesting to watch for you guys. But without further ado, let's hop right into the third round. Let's go. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the third round of Ravens tournament. This time I'm up against Pokeone. This guy is actually really good. He's also someone from my guild, and he's very knowledgeable, so this will definitely be a good battle. So I'm very psyched. I hope you guys are, but for now, let's see what we'll lead off with. I'm looking at his team. He's probably gonna lead off with Tyranitar, Scizor, or Nidoking. So I think I should probably lead off with my Garchomp, since it has a pretty good matchup against 4 of his Pokemon. If he does decide to go into Suicune, I will probably hard switch into my Crobat. But yeah, he does lead off with Nidoking. And let's not predict anything, let's just go straight for the Earthquake. He might actually predict me to go for Dragon Claw, and then he might press Ice Beam. So this will be a very interesting turn. Guys, if I can get rid of this Nidoking, that would be very good for me. Because it's always very difficult to switch into a Nidoking, but he does decide to stay in, and we do knock him out. So this is actually really good for us. Because with that threat gone, a lot of pressure will be relieved from my Tyranitar and Crobat. Now he brings in his Clefable. If I can get some damage off on this thing, then I can later kill it with my Raikou or my Scizor. So I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake. Let's see, and he might overpredict or something. No, he does go for the Moonblast, but I should be able to survive this. Nice. And he cannot survive the second Earthquake, but I have no reason to overpredict here. If he goes Suicune, so be it. I will die to Life Orb, but if he does go Suicune like he does now, that's actually a free opportunity to bring in my Raikou. But he still... Wait, he doesn't have... I don't think he has his... Yeah, he just lost his Nidoking, so he has no ground types, so no electric immunity. So I think a Volt switching here is really free, because he might bring in his Tyranitar. Tyranitar seems like the only thing that could take a hit from Raikou, as he does bring in his Tyranitar. So Tyranitar comes in, and this is a Choice Specs Volt switch, and that does literally nothing. But anyway, now I can bring in my Scizor. And yeah, basically I run 200 speed, so in most cases I should be able to outspeed the Tyranitar. So I think U-turning here is okay. Some Tyranitars do pack the Fire Blast, so I have to be wary of that. He actually decides to switch out into his Scizor, as I go for the U-turn. Okay, now I can bring in my Raikou again. And this time I can actually press T-Bolt, I think. Because Raikou is really the only thing on my team that could actually deal with Scizor. So I do go for the Earthquake, as he decides to go for Roost. Now I'm just gonna go for T-Bolt again, because my T-Bolt does more than he gets recovery from leftovers. Oh, let's put this away. From leftovers and Roost. So I'm just gonna keep Thunderbolting as he brings in his Clefable, so that thing goes down. And we actually took down 2 Pokemon, which is really nice for us. Now he will probably bring in his Tyranitar, and he's most likely gonna go for the Pursuit. But there's really no reason for me to stay in, because I cannot 2-hit KO this Tyranitar yet. Because I do not want to lose my Raikou, because it can still do some things against his Suicune, so I want to keep it around, and I can definitely live a Pursuit. Now I bring in my Scizor, and let's just go for the U-turn here. think U-turn is probably the safest play overall. If he stays in, I can go into my guard jump. And if he switches out, then I have the advantage again. So let's see what happens. Actually goes for Fire Blast and he misses. Oh my god, that is really unfortunate for Voltigen. That turn was huge. Because now Tyranitar is gone. And Tyranitar actually pressured my team a lot. Since I had no real switch in beside my guard jump. But yeah, let's bring in my... I think... he still has Suicune left. But if I bring in Raikou... No, I cannot bring in Raikou. Let's bring in Crobat. That's my fastest member on my team. And it's also the safest Pokemon to bring in at this point. So now he brings in his Dragonite. I think I'm gonna go for the taunt here. I should be able to live 2 Dragon Claws. He goes for Dragon. Oh, he actually has Outrage, and that does a lot. But now I could bring in. He still has his multi-skill, so I do not want to bring in my Slowbro yet. Let's bring in Scissor. The Scissor can take a hit. Yep. And now I can go for the Roost. As he becomes confused. He doesn't show Lumberry, so I'm curious to see what kind of item he has. But now I'm gonna bring in my Slowbro. As he brings in his Suicune. So that could actually be really bad for me, because now he can set up a Calm Mind. But let's just go hard into Crobat. I know my Crobat can still stall the Suicune. And if he does decide to go for Scald there, then Raikou just kills it. Then I can just press T-Bolt with Raikou. So let's see what he does. He does decide to go for Scald there. He gets a crit, but that crit does not matter. It matters in my heart. Now I can bring in Raikou. And I can go for T-Bolt. He will most likely go into his Dragonite, since Dragonite still has his multi-skill. But I think going for Thunderbolt is still the right play, because I don't think Volt Switch is killing from here. And T-Bolt will definitely kill. If he does decide to go into his Dragonite, yeah, then I should probably bring in my Slowbro. Now let's actually first bring in my Tyranitar, since he has to go for E-Speed here. Because he cannot risk having me having Hidden Power Ice there, so he has to go for E-Speed. Yep. And now he's forced to click a strong attack. So either Outrage or Earthquake, if he has it, comes out. There's no way he's gonna switch into his Suicune now. But let's just go for Rocks here. Yes, okay, he does have Earthquake. Okay. Now I can just bring in my Slowbro. Because I wanted that Stealth Rock up in case he switches. Now Slowbro comes in, and I don't think he should go for another Earthquake. He has to go for a strong attack. Yeah. Does go for Outrage, and now I can just click Ice Beam. He doesn't have his multi-skill, so Ice Beam will definitely kill. Yep. So Dragonite goes down to the okay. The crit. I'm pretty sure it didn't matter there. Now Suicune comes in. And again, this is a bad position still. I think if I go Scissor, he should be outspeeding me, right? Then I can U-turn. And since Scissor will be slower, I have a free opportunity to bring in my Raikou. I think that's a play to make. Because I cannot go hard Raikou, because he might Scald again. Let's see what happens. Okay, he does go for the Calm Mind. I basically need to sack something, or I need to bring it in with the U-turn here. I mean, Suicune should be faster, right? Wait, I am fast. That means he doesn't have a lot of EVs in speed, IVs in speed. But yeah, let's just go to Tyranitar now. He actually goes for a Roar here. Okay. As he brings... okay, my Slowpoke comes back in. I mean, at some point he kind of has to rest, right? Let's bring in Scissor again. Because once I get my Raikou in for free, I think I got the game there. Because when I looked at this, his Scissor took my Thunderbolt way too well, so it has to be a defensive Scissor. Because that was a Choice Specs Thunderbolt, so I think it's running some special defense with max HP. So it should not be running any attack EVs. Yeah, he does knock me out, and now I can bring in my Raikou for free. And I also think his Scissor is also his defogger. So I think if I go for... I have to go for Volt Switch, or... guess I will get damage from... I will get damage from Sandstorm if I stay in, so I have to go Volt Switch, as he does bring in his Scissor. And now I can go T-Tar, and because this Scissor is probably not running any speed, my Tyranitar will most likely outspeed it. And I think I have to go for Taunt here, because Crunch is not killing from there, I think. So this way he cannot Roost. And now I can kind of crunch him. I should be able to live one Bullet Punch at least. Yep. So crunch comes off. He does this. He does live barely. But yeah, I think my Raikou has enough health to live the Bullet Punch, because it's not Iron Blade, it's leftovers, and he's not running any attack EVs. At least if it's a roll, the roll should be in my favor. Let's see. But if he does knock me out, this could be very troublesome, because then I will have a hard time killing the... Yeah, I do live it, but if Raikou went down there, I would have had a hard time killing the Suicune there. But this is pretty much GG, so really unfortunate for him missing the Fire Blast. Because if he did hit the Fire Blast, then I had to play in a different way. In a very different way. But yeah, let's just take out the Suicune. Really good game, Boltjan. You're definitely a good player, man. Really close game. Yeah guys, that was the third round, and I hope to see you guys in the fourth round. That will definitely be good. I think I will be playing against Tyrant again, most likely. So stay tuned. Yo guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I did enjoy the battle. I think it's a very good one. But for now I just want to recap on some mistakes that I made in the game. The first mistake was not calculating the damage that my first Volt Switch from my Raikou did on the Tyranitar, cause it did around 30%, so that probably means that his Tyranitar didn't run any HP EVs. So if I did calculate that damage, then I could have known that Tyranitar was probably running max speed. Because if you're not running HP, then you're running speed probably, and then I could have assumed that this Tyranitar would be faster than my Scissor, and that he might pack the Fire Blast. Because looking at his team, the only thing that could really deal with a Scissor is his Suicune, and then he has to rely on a Scald Burn. So Then I should have assumed that he had Fire Blast. So that was the first mistake. So I could have prevented that Fire Blast just that whole turn, instead of dodging the Fire Blast, because it was a skillfully dodge. Not to brag. No, I'm kidding. And the second mistake was staying in with my Crobat on his Dragon Knight. I should have just brought in my Slowbro. Slowbro could have easily taken 2 Outrages, and if he went for Dragon Dance there, then I still had a turn to attack him. So I think going into Slowbro there right away was probably the better play. The reason I stayed in was because I wanted to break his multi-skill first, and I didn't want him to Dragon Dance up, because my idea was kinda to surprise him with the Ice Beam, but the safest play would have definitely been to just go hard into Slowbro there, because if I did that, then my Crobat would have been full, and then I had a much easier time against the Suicune, just in case my Raikou did die to a point, because then Crobat can easily 1v1 Suicune. Even if Suicune is at +1, Crobat can still stall it with Roost, Toxic and Taunt. But yeah, that was basically the video. I hope you guys liked this recap too, and I see you guys in the next video for the 4th round actually.